Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. I am so excited you're here today because we are jumping straight into something amazing. We're going to unpack some incredibly powerful secrets on how to live a wise, really great life. We're looking at a specific section of the biblical text, Proverbs chapter 25, verses 1 through 7. So grab a notebook, get comfy, and get ready, because we're about to break down some giant ideas into bite-sized pieces you can actually use every single day. But before we look at the text, think about this for a second. Have you ever walked into a birthday party, hopped on the school bus, or sat down at a big family dinner and immediately tried to grab the absolute best seat? You know, the one right next to the birthday kid or straight at the front of the line? We've all felt that, right? That urge to make sure everyone sees us and knows we're important? Keep that feeling in your mind, because it is exactly what we're tackling today. You see, the biblical text isn't just a bunch of old stories. It's actually like a giant treasure map, packed with secrets that help us navigate our everyday lives. It teaches us how to be a great friend, how to handle tough situations, and, even how to act when we really want that best seat. It's basically the ultimate guide for living an honorable life. Right at the start, verse 1 tells us exactly where this wisdom comes from. It says, "These are more Proverbs of Solomon, compiled by the men of Hezekiah king of Judah." A proverb is just a short, clever saying that gives really solid advice. King Solomon was famous for being incredibly wise, and years later, another king named Hezekiah had his team gather up or compile even more of Solomon's brilliant sayings so they wouldn't get lost. It's literally like putting together a greatest hits album of the best advice ever. Section 1. God's Mysteries and Kings. Let's dive into the very first word picture Solomon paints for us here. He talks about how God works and then compares it to earthly kings. And spoiler alert, they operate completely differently. Verse 2 says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings." This is so fascinating. It means God is so huge and infinite that part of what makes him so glorious is that he actually conceals things. He creates this grand, beautiful mystery in the universe. But for a king, and for us, our glory, our really cool job, is to be like detectives. We get to search things out and solve the amazing puzzles he has placed in the world. Speaking of kings, verse 3 says, "As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable." Have you ever looked up at the night sky and tried to see exactly where outer space ends? You totally can't, right? Or tried to dig to the very bottom of the earth. Way too deep. Solomon is saying that leaders have thoughts and responsibilities that are so complicated, they're super hard to figure out. It's a great reminder that there's often a lot going on beneath the surface that we might not understand right away. Which brings us to Section 2, Making the Silver Pure. Solomon completely shifts gears here and takes us into the workshop of a silversmith, someone who makes beautiful things out of metal. To get this, we need to learn a specific word, dross. Verse 4 says, "Remove the dross from the silver, and a silversmith can produce a vessel." When silver is first dug up, it's not shiny and perfect. It's full of dirt, rocks, and gross impurities. That yucky stuff, that's the dross. A silversmith has to heat the silver up incredibly hot so all that dross melts away. Only then can they make a beautiful, strong bowl. Now watch how perfectly this maps to what Solomon teaches in verse 5. He connects this physical science of cleaning silver directly to how a kingdom works. Just like you have to melt away the dross to get beautiful silver, a king has to remove wicked officials, basically bad advisors or mean leaders, from his presence. If a king gets rid of those bad influences, his throne is built on goodness and righteousness. You've got to take out the bad stuff to let the good stuff shine. You might not be a king with official advisors, but this applies to you and me too. Think of those wicked officials as bad influences or negative choices in our own lives. If we surround ourselves with people who drag us down or encourage us to do the wrong thing, it's exactly like leaving dross in the silver. But if we choose good friends who encourage us, tell us the truth, and help us do what is right, we become stronger and brighter, just like pure silver. And that perfectly sets up Section 3, the power of humility. This loops right back to that question I asked you at the very beginning of the explainer. We're looking at a highly relatable scenario about where to sit, and it teaches a massive lesson on humility. Verse 6 lays it out clearly in 2 steps. Step 1, do not exalt yourself in the king's presence. And step 2, do not claim a place among his great men. To exalt yourself means to brag, or show off, or physically shove your way to the front of the line so everyone looks at you. The biblical text is giving us a massive warning. Don't be the person who pushes everyone out of the way just to grab the spotlight. And why is that?
because there is a way better way to be recognized. Verse 7 says, "It is better for him to say to you, 'Come up here.'" Just imagine going to that party, and instead of pushing your way to the front, you quietly take a seat near the back. Then the host sees you and calls out, "Hey, you're my good friend. Come up here and sit next to me." Think about how awesome that would feel. It is so much more rewarding to be invited up to a place of honor because people respect you, rather than just taking it for yourself.
This also brilliantly illustrates the flip side. The rest of verse 7 says it's better for him to invite you up than for him to humiliate you before his nobles. Imagine you did take that top seat without asking. Then the host walks over and says, excuse me, I actually saved this seat for someone else. You're gonna have to move to the back. Oh man, that would be so embarrassing. Taking the best seat without being asked can lead to real humiliation. Humility, actually choosing to put others first, protects us and allows others to lift us up instead. We've covered some amazing wisdom from the biblical text today. We learned that God is glorious in his mysteries, that we need to remove the dross from our lives to be strong, and that humility is always the absolute smartest choice. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. What is one dross, maybe a bad habit, a negative attitude, or an unkind way of speaking, that you can work on removing today so that God can use you to shine brightly for him? Think on that. Keep seeking out wisdom, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.